So, let me get focused. She wants her gammy, sorry. So, to the best, the most renowned scientists can prove, the universe is 13.8 billion years old. It began with what we just heard, the light, walking in the light. Whether we love the Big Bang Theory, where the light just went boom, or the creation story. So I'm just going to take the creation story right now, because I want you to think about, well, I'm going to tell you a quote I read this morning, and it just hit me. One of my great, well, not my boyfriend, but a relative of my boyfriend, Hafez, a 14th century mystic poet. I read this, it's just one line, and it had a profound meaning to me. He said, the words you speak become the house you live in. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's so true. We have to be so conscious of what we're thinking and speaking and believing, and that becomes what our experience is. So if we want to talk about we are blessed, let's go back the 13.8 billion years ago and think how it all started. So God, on the first day in the story of creation, the light and the darkness. The second day, the sea and the sky. The third day, the land. The fourth day, the sun and the moon. The fifth day, the birds and the fish. The sixth day, the animals, man, woman. And on the seventh day, God took a breath, rested, looked around, and you know what he said? That's not just good. It's very good. And we come from that. That's what we started from. We either started from that explosion of light, or that is very good. And we began there. And we have in us a piece, a spark of that original blessing, that original spark in us, the blessings that we are here to own and receive. And Sharon, as you mentioned, even in suffering, find the gifts and garner the wisdom and the understanding that help us make a better, more creative life. It's all there for us. It's there. We are both blessed and a blessing. That's how we are created. And then in the 3rd century, along came St. Augustine. And he decided, after the fall of man, Adam and Eve, man is incapable of choosing righteousness and goodness, just original sin. And original sin was born. And it became a thought, a real thought in Western Christianity and many religions. Many don't believe that. But tell me which house you'd rather live in. The house of original blessing or the house of original sin?
Original blessing.
Yes, of course. So that's what we're going to talk about today, because the forces of fear and pessimism and negativity and not enoughness and all of that, if we have those words and those thoughts continually in our minds, we don't become just the words we speak occasionally. We become the general tendency of our thinking. And so if we're thinking, I'm just a creepy thing, our house is going to be kind of creepy too. But if we think we actually have these beautiful blessings and we are here as a gift to life. Now, original blessing doesn't mean everybody is a stereotypical cookie cutter of everyone else. It means we're all unique individual sparks of this blessing that are here on purpose. And we have a piece of this beautiful puzzle to play. We have a piece, we have blessings to give and to share. So we must be very careful of how we're thinking about ourselves. And we'll talk about how we're thinking about others also. But these blessings are here. And if we know the way these blessings work, this energy, there's a law of reciprocity, a law of flow that happens in life. And so we're surrounded and filled with blessings, but we've also been given this gift of choice and free will. And we can decide when blessings abound and we come from this amazing universe that's filled with creativity and possibilities and all this wonderful energy, that we're filled with this. We decide how much we're going to accept. We know. Jesus said it's done unto us as we believe. So if we have this flow of blessings coming and we go to this waterfall of blessings and we bring a thimble, we're not going to receive a whole lot. If we bring a bigger bucket, we're going to get more. If we become immersed in it, we get it. The mystics know this. They know that the blessings are there. Their connection to spirit is there all the time, no matter what's going on. That's why I love the mystics so much. And this is another one of my boyfriend's friends, Hafez. He says, "Awake, my dear. Awake, my dear. Be kind to your sleeping heart. Take it out into the vast fields of light and let it breathe." What we don't realize too often is the greatest blessings don't just come when we look without. Even though there was that amazing sunrise this morning. We get up early, but it was amazing. But the greatest blessings happen when we turn within. When we turn within and we take that sleeping heart at times and open it to the light of goodness that is there. The light of goodness that is always there. In the quiet, which happens when we go within, we hear the most. We're going to hear about the blessings or solutions or creative ideas. We're going to hear something more than if we're always looking outside. You know, it's hard to keep our thoughts on blessings all the time if we have a tiny little focus, like a tiny little lens on this world. If we get really focused, we're going to see a lot of the problems. We're going to see a lot of suffering. We're going to see a lot of things falling apart. And that's part of the process of life. But that'll judge our thoughts and our thinking, and then it'll certainly create a different house we live in. As Rumi said, we're born with wings. We have to learn to fly, to spiritualize our thoughts, and to know there's something more at work, something always more going on. We need to do that process so we're open to more of the blessings and goodness that are here. So in this inflow and outflow of blessings, let's just say, I'll birdwalk for a minute. Sometimes we don't let it inflow because of the suffering and the hurt and the pain, and it gets scary. And sometimes we get so focused on the suffering we see in that little tiny focus we have that we can't see a bigger picture, because there's a lot of stuff going on that doesn't feel so good. But remember, suffering is a teacher, and also remember what Helen Keller said. I mean, another person, the power of the human spirit is amazing. And she said, yes, there is so much suffering in the world, and there's even more overcoming it. We have to look at the whole picture of life. The power of the human spirit is so great. So let's say we're open. We decide to let the inflow of blessings to us. But again, in this world of reciprocity, in this world of cause and effect, of give and take, that it's a circular event here, we know that we can, as we bring in the blessings, our job, in fact, one of our instructions as human beings is to pass the blessings on, to be a blessing to the world. We are blessed and a blessing. We need to know that we have a responsibility as human beings and part of this human family to pass our blessings on. And I want to share a couple of thoughts about that came into my life in certain readings. Last week I was reading the book Braving the Wilderness by Brené Brown. And there was a piece in there that I read this week that I loved. And I want you to kind of give yourself a test on this and see where you are, or where especially young people today are in this world. Brené Brown did a study with 8th graders. Because you know how important it is in middle school to fit in? It's kind of sort of still that way. But you want to fit into life. We're not born to fit in. We're born to belong. So she gave these students of 8th graders a test to break into small groups, like our Going Deeper Sunday, and to talk about what it means to belong and what it means to fit in. And I want you to hear these. There's just a couple of three answers, but they're really amazing. Belonging is somewhere you want to be, and they want you. Fitting in is being somewhere you want to be, and they don't really care if you're there or not. Belonging is being accepted for who you are. Fitting in is being accepted for being like everyone else. If I get to be me, I belong. If I have to be like you, I fit in. Isn't that a challenge, not only for our young people today, but for those of us that grew up with that need to belong, to fit in? And we realize I belong because I get to truly be me. I get to be who I'm meant to be because I have a specialness about me because all of us are unique. So this theme went along. I read that and I thought, oh my gosh, that's so important to instill that in our minds so we can pass it on. We can pass it on, period. And then it went on thinking about relationships, and something I didn't tell you last week. Last week the theme was say yes to life. And I was looking at it, I typed in say yes to life, and the first thing that popped up was Viktor Frankl. And I went, oh my gosh, somebody who's had atrocities beyond anything we can imagine, and he was in the concentration camps, he lost both parents, his pregnant wife and child, and his brother, and he left and then started 11 months later, started doing lectures in Vienna. And they were put in a book, and the book was entitled, Yes to Life in Spite of Everything. But what I forgot to tell you was at the end of that article about his life, and it was beautiful, there was a little clip of him when it was in 1972, and he was giving a lecture. And I'm not sure where the lecture was, but he's 68 years old, and he said, I've just started taking flying lessons. And I got in the airplane, and I'm learning about flying, and my instructor said, you often have to overestimate your destination because the wind, the weather, all the things you overestimate. And he thought, here he is, a psychotherapist, a psychiatrist, teaching people how to show up in the world. And he said, I think we need to do that with people. He said, we should not treat each other as they are. Repeat, we should not treat each other as they are. Rather, we should overestimate them. See people as what they are capable of becoming. See people as what they are capable of becoming. I'm going to end here with the definition of blessing from the Science of Mind textbook. Blessing, a constructive thought directed toward anyone or any condition. When you bless a person, you recognize the divinity in them. Thank you, Sage. Blessing, recognizing the divinity in a person. You say it, I bless you, I honor you, I support you. When you bless a person, you think correctly about them and you see them as a child of God. That's what you do. You don't have to say that. It's what it feels like. I bless you. The feeling oozes through it. If you just say, I bless you, and bless you, this is rote, that doesn't work. But when you really do that, Brené Brown also defined generosity as extending the most generous interpretation possible. Extending the most generous interpretation possible to people's actions, intentions, and words. Expect the best. And bless yourself on that too. We all make mistakes. So let's just take this time right now. Put your feet on the floor. Take a breath, close your eyes if you're comfortable, and just breathe in the excitement of youth, the openness, and just know in this moment that the blessings abound around us and within us. In this moment, we let go of the fear we might have held on to about whatever it is in life and open ourselves up, reach higher, spiritualize our thoughts, and recognize and know that in this and every moment, there are blessings, there is goodness, there are possibilities, there is potential, there is love, there's abundance, there's solutions, there's everything available that we choose. We get to choose how we show up. We get to choose what we accept. And take a moment right now as you just breathe in. You let your heart be free. You let your heart open to the light of love that changes everything. And just know as we open our eyes and come back here together, we're able not only to bless ourselves and accept the blessing that we are here on this planet at this time and on this journey of our soul that we're ever becoming, but we are here in a community of people that know the power of blessings and are willing to go out in this world and give the outflow of our good, that we may uplift this world, this community of life, this community of humanity in which we live, how blessed we are. And let's just seal that by saying together, and so it is. I bless and love you all with all my heart and soul. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.